Make it.
Welcome to Make It with Mike and Kristen,
where creative people talk about what they make and what making it means to them.
Yeah.
That's our intro.
That's our intro. We know that. The listeners are getting used to the new intro too.
Been a wild journey so far.
Well, and we've got a few of our live interviews, live podcasts under our belt now, but it was certainly special to do one at Togetherland.
Yeah, this is like our second home, essentially. This is where a lot of things... We lived here for 9 days.
Yeah.
While our cat George lived in the woods fighting off all the rodents and whatever he came across.
Well, George is usually in the studio with us, so that was another change for this one.
What do you think of doing live podcasts?
It's a different energy. Like, I'm aware that there's people with us, of course. Like, I feel that, and just being in a different physical environment. But I've always found when I'm creating things, changing my environment is one of the biggest ways to open my mind. So I appreciate that we kind of push ourselves into that.
Yeah, there's such simple little things, like with music, working on a song, you listen to it in a different environment, a different type of speakers, or with writing, even if you change the font to something different, you kind of look at it in different ways. So it's a different, or it's an interesting way that we can take our art and experience it in new ways ourselves.
Yeah. And every time we interview someone, I learn something new about myself and my process and how I might look at the world. And Tara Thorne is the perfect person to open our minds to that. She's been on our sort of list of dream guests, I'll call it, for quite some time. So to be able to have this experience with her is all the more meaningful. And if you're from Halifax, Nova Scotia, you absolutely have heard of Tara Thorne and the great work that she's done. But this is the first time, at least I've had the chance to kind of ask her things I knew that I wanted to know as a creative person. So it's one thing, of course, we want for people to learn about her and the great work she's doing, but there's almost like a selfish component to having her on this week's episode, because I know she has such an expertise and a kind heart, and she's unafraid. And that's something that I am working on, is just being okay with what I believe and what my opinion is and what my art is, even for that matter. Like, there's something so liberating about that, and witnessing somebody not only show up that way, but achieve what she has through that behavior is just, I kind of needed that.
And it's really nice to talk to someone who has such a diverse skill set and has worked in so many different mediums. And we do that ourselves. We have our things maybe we put the most time into, but we're often doing different creative things and trying to figure out how to balance that and where to put our energy and what makes sense to be focusing on at the time. And Tara's gone through different, I guess, versions of her own creativity and just the success she's had in all of them. It's really nice to chat with someone we can learn from ourselves.
I think it's no secret that Tara is honest and outspoken, but I in particular appreciated her honesty about what her idea of making it and success really is. I think we're taught as artists that the thing that we make should be enough. Like, as long as you're pursuing a passion and as long as you're being sincere, then the rest will kind of take care of itself. And while that's a dreamy way of thinking about things, and I believe an element of that, of course, needs to exist, there's an honesty in just getting by as well, and feeling at ease. I imagine it's hard to create from a place of purity if you're dealing with just anxiety about how you're going to buy your carrots that day.
Yeah, especially this day and age, everything is expensive to do. It's just a little bit harder to live than it was a few years back. And all artists that we talk to have, it just seems like a little bit more of a struggle in making it work. And we're all in the same boat. But she states in the episode directly about her, what making it is to her, and we don't want to give away exactly what she said there, but it's it's nice to hear different perspectives, and it is something every artist has to consider is how do you buy your eggs? How do you put gas in your tank? And yeah, as dreamy as it is to just create and survive in the world, we do have to figure out how to get by. And sometimes I take a gig I maybe wouldn't if I had $1 million in the bank, but I have to consider that when this is how we make our living.
Yes, it gives a certain level of permission. And I feel like, I guess the best way to say it is I feel like less of a failure when I hear somebody else having the same struggles that I'm having, both emotionally and just living as a creative person in the world now, when they're really honest about that. Because it's sometimes hard to admit that, especially when a lot of our public facing content in pursuit of success has to look like everything is going so well for me, you know, like I'm making all the right decisions.
You're never a failure ever in my eyes. So first and foremost, but and again, I've been doing this for 20 years as a musician, and you're pretty new into these highs and lows. And I guess every time you hit a low, which isn't that often, but, but they come for everybody. They happen. Yeah. It's just inevitable that there's a slower season here and there. And there's the grant you applied for that you were really hoping for, that particular gig. Like we have to roll with the highs and lows. Just don't take either one too serious as long as you're focused on your vision, and we make it work.
Well, that's good advice, not to take either too seriously. I like the way
you got to enjoy the highs. But
yeah. And yes, Tara, I think because she is someone who I admire and have looked up to for a long time, and know that she's also kind of juggling all these different decisions and lifestyles, I feel like I can relate to that. I feel like I know what it's like to, well, let's try this and let's try that. So I was truly curious about why she made those decisions and how things have kind of panned out for her. So I expect our listeners will also benefit from just hearing it from her in particular.
Oh, definitely. And to do it in front of a live audience was that much cooler. But we should jump into it now, and she plays a song live at the end, so make sure to stick around to the end of the episode to hear that. But yeah, without further ado, let's jump into Tara Thorne.
Great.
Make it. Are you tired of paying too much for home and auto insurance only to then have to deal with somebody at a call center? Someone different each time you call, who really doesn't understand your needs?
Yes, I'm totally tired of that. But I happen to know the perfect person to solve this issue. Ryan O'Malley with Allstate Insurance has been serving the community here in HRM and across Nova Scotia for years.
I know Ryan too. He provides tailored and customized home and auto insurance plans to help people save money and get the coverage that they need to protect the things that they worked hard for.
He understands the local touch that Nova Scotians love and the service they should expect from an insurance professional. Ryan is also a senior sales agent at Allstate, which means he now has his own dedicated service agent, Carissa, to help better serve his clients. Fancy or what?
And here in Nova Scotia, we know life can throw a few curveballs, like snowstorms in April, a rogue seagull with bad aim, or your drunk cousin backing into your shed again during a backyard lobster boil.
These sound like personal stories, but all very relatable. Thank goodness for friends like Ryan.
Reach out today to get your personalized quote for home and auto insurance. Call 902-210-1293 or email O'Malley, that's ROMALLEY at allstate.ca to speak directly with Ryan. Remember Goosebumps? Nothing like a spooky twist ending to get a kid hooked on reading.
Meanwhile, I was deep in the world of Judy Blume, navigating life, friendship, and all the weird stuff we go through as kids. Books kind of built our creative brains.
And that's why we're so proud to tell you about Halifax Learning, an organization that's been helping Nova Scotian kids build strong literacy skills for over 15 years. They're also this week's sponsor.
Whether it's reading comprehension, fluency, or writing confidence, confidence, their evidence-based, research-backed programs get that coveted gold star.
We're talking proven results for learners in grades 1 through 6.
I also want to acknowledge their founder, Sarah Arnold, who is the kindest, most magical, driven human on earth.
Sarah and her team offer a diverse range of expertise spanning education, psychology, and specialized teaching methodologies, empowering learners of all ages and abilities.
Halifax Learning offers both in-person and online clinics, so kids can learn in a way that works best for them, at home in their pajamas or in a classroom with new pals.
And let's not forget, literacy is foundational for creativity. Want to write a song, paint a story, perform a play? You need words. Reading well means making well.
They have 3 local facilities in Halifax Regional Municipality and offer both after-school and summer programs.
Yes, and I know that summer enrollment is happening now.
On your journey to make it, this is where it starts. Reading skills unlock everything from self-expression to creative success.
Halifax Learning believes every child has the potential to thrive. They're giving families the tools to unlock that potential.
If you want your child to grow up loving books, building confidence, and maybe even becoming a future podcast host / musician / gallery owner,
head to halifaxlearning.com. That's HALIFAXLEARNING.com and check it out. Support local learning, support creative futures. Make it.
Bing.
welcome to Mike and Kristen, the podcast, huh?
How are you doing, Tara?
Very nervous, sitting on the edge of this throne. I can't sit back. Look at it.
You're
It's
actually
crazy.
at the edge of your seat.
Yeah. It's
How do you sit on a
It's
bus?
how I remain prepared for whatever.
But do you sit like this? Like if you're on the
On the
couch
bus?
watching a movie or
Oh,
at a restaurant or something? Is this just your posture?
It's just it's just I don't know.
Yeah. It looks a little uncomfortable.
It is.
All. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
As long as we're all uncomfortable.
too. You don't
No,
have
it's okay.
to sit like
I'm
that.
doing great.
Well, we chose this chair. So these are chairs that I've actually made. And we chose this one for you because it really feels like a throne and we wanted you to be celebrated.
That's nice.
Like the royalty you are in our eyes. So
Please.
yes,
Stop.
There you
Give
go.
her a hand for it.
I would say, and this probably isn't maybe the lightest way to start, but I will say that you have become just such a beacon for arts and culture in Nova Scotia and beyond. I hear from a lot of creative people that their work is rooted in their identity. And I'd like to hear you talk about if that's true for you as well, or if you've challenged yourself maybe to work completely separate or outside of who you consider you to be.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Please. Identity is a bit of a mixed up thing for me because I came out really late. So there was a lot of the earlier work was like no pronouns, like try to make it just different enough, like make the love interest a man and there's also a woman and no one will be able to know. So it was like a lot. It's like, which happens with a lot of people. It's just like a slow process. So certainly the film work that I've been doing now is very rooted in being queer and wanting to showcase women, and now women of a certain age. The movie gets middle-aged lesbians a lot, and I feel bad because they're like probably half the cast is like in their early 30s or under. So it's like we're not all middle-aged, but a significant amount of us are. So yeah, it's definitely been more important to me in later age as I've come to be like, who gives a fuck,
Yeah.
which is also a later age thing.
Was there a moment or something that kind of gave you that permission or shifted?
No, and that's a question that I would ask as well as a former journalist. Like, and I'll give you the answer that everyone gives to that question, which is there's never a moment, there's never a eureka moment. It's always a gradual progression towards the thing that you didn't even know was the goal.
Yeah.
We watched your movie Lakeview last night, which is
Awesome.
amazing and
Thank you.
deserves a round of applause there.
Starring Kat McCormick.
Can you? Yes, we got one of the stars in the audience here.
No big deal.
Can you give a little descriptive?
Like synopsis?
Yeah, give us
of
a
the
little
movie?
summary of what the movie is for our listeners.
Well, depending on your age, I would say it's The Big Chill with lesbians. But if you don't know what The Big Chill is, because it's 40 years old now, it's basically, it's about a girls' weekend celebrating a divorce. So it's a divorce party. The person getting divorced is the straightest, and then the rest of them are gay. That's it. It's not Memento. You can follow it.
So if you watch it in reverse order, it doesn't tell a different story.
Have you ever been to a divorce party?
Me? No. I know a lot of divorced people due to my age. But no one's ever had a divorce party.
I think this should be a thing.
That I know. Yeah. It seems like you celebrate the wins and the losses, which is a line in the movie. So it's like, celebrate the end as well as the beginning.
Being at a board meeting at Dustin's, actually, and you were in the midst of making this film and talking about, so my work right now is I get to go kind of hang out with my buds at this cabin, and like it was beautiful weather at the time, and like how dreamy was the process of making this film with so many brilliant people here.
It was very dreamy. We shot at a house in Middle Porters Lake, and there's I don't actually like establishing shots, but I felt like we needed to establish this house. And the reason that the lead character is rich is because I wanted to shoot somewhere nice. Because we shot the first movie all around the North End, which is nice, but it's small, and it's like, but when you put 30 people in a house of that size, which on Airbnb says it can sleep 10, it gets small real fast. So the production office was in the basement. So we don't shoot in the basement ever because that's where hair and makeup and food and all that stuff was. And the actors hung out down there, and the crew played Mario Kart on lunch and stuff like that. But it was really awesome. One thing that did happen that infuriated me last year was that year there had been a hurricane in September. And I don't know if you guys remember, but there was no leaf change that year. It was like it went from green to brown. And so we had planned the shoot around the fall colors. Like there's a scene where they go for a hike, and my first AD was like, I checked like the best week for leaves, it's this week, that's when we're going, and there were no colors. And then last year, vibrant, beautiful. I was like, fuck. So it's sort of like I really wanted to best Andrea Dorfman's Heartbeat as the best autumnal movie made in Halifax. But I couldn't do it. Nature said no.
Nature said no.
Yeah.
But this almost feels a little bit, I'll say, thematic with at least all of our collective lives, because I know each of us, and I'm sure this is a relatable thing where sometimes life, and certainly with creativity, points you in a different direction, whether you like it or not. Have you found that has actually been a positive experience and opened up new opportunities, being kind of shoved in new directions, or is that something that you would have more control over? I
mean, I prefer control. I'm a triple Virgo, but I can give you an example of the movie, which is like low budget filmmaking is all about compromise and all about going in a direction you never planned. So I had this Lucy Dacus song in the closing credits. Like it was in the very first draft of the script. If you saw it at Neptune the year we did it for the Fringe, it was in there. We played it at the end. And it's from her first album when she was 20 years old. So you're like, how expensive could this be? So as we're shooting the movie, she's in Boy Genius, and Boy Genius is getting bigger and bigger. We're like, they're on SNL. And I was like, oh no. Then they got nominated for 6 Grammys, and I was like, oh no,
my movie's gonna be huge.
And so we finished the movie, and I start the annoying process. Like when people have record labels, it's so annoying to try to get music out of them. Like a lot of the music is local, and I just email people, and I was like, do you want some money? Here it is. So I email her Canadian publisher, and I'm like, here's the deal. And they ask you all these questions, like how much is your budget? How many other songs? Like there's no standard rates for clearing music. It's just, there's no chart. It's just like budget based and how much they think they can get out of you. And so that's the point of the conversation we were in, and I hadn't heard from her in a while. And then the week after the Grammys, she wrote me and said, are you still interested in using this Lucy song? And I said, presuming the price hasn't gone up by 3 Grammys, yes. Never heard from her again. Yeah.
That's such a good line.
That's
too.
What your big mouth gets you. Yes, yeah. So I was like, well, time to pivot. The nice thing is we had earmarked $10,000 for that song, which was probably low, 10,000 Canadian. So I had a lot of money, and I was like, I'll fucking write this song myself, because then it can say what I need it to say. It can like call back to the opening song, which is by Keeper E. I have a band. We got Siobhan Martin in the band, who composed the score. I was like, and then it was this communal experience where we went out to Echo Lake with Dan Ledwell, and then I hired Jen Grant to sing it because I'm not going to sing over the closing credits of my own movie. That's insane. And so now it's this beautiful thing that used the community that it came from. And when I look at it now, I think, well, it actually would have been really weird to have an entire score and 14 songs by local people and then this random American song at the end. Yeah. So it did work out. Even though it took some time to like let it go.
Yeah.
Music was such a focal point off Lakeview. Yeah. How important was that when you were doing the writing process? Were you considering what songs were going to fit in certain spots?
I wasn't. No. Maps was in there, and this is like the karaoke song that had like there's a rock star, indie rock star character in the movie, and she sang Maps at karaoke by the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. And this was before it had its TikTok resurgence, but it's still like one of the best songs of the past fucking 30 years. And we knew it would be expensive, and my producer did say, she's like, we can try to get that. And I was like, I don't think in good conscience I can spend $50,000 to $100,000 on one song. I know. Yeah. This is America for you. So it was just like Maps was in there. And then it was like, the last line was like, Dax sings to Darcy again, bare and open. Like that was, but there was no song, there were no songs attached. And so, when I cast Hillary Adams in the reading of at the Fringe that we did in 2021, she sang a Lorde song, and Maps was played. It was, I think, the most awkward part of the show. But moving forward, so she was always attached to the movie, and she's a musician herself. So she was making a record, and she's like, I've got this song that I think would work. And so that's how her song Wildflower ended up.
Oh, that's her own song. Okay,
yeah, it's
cool.
her own song.
Yeah.
And the full version is actually, it's like a 5-minute folk song, but this is the nice thing about being a musician myself, because I could hear how it needed to sound. Where it's like I pulled out a verse and we went from the first verse to the bridge, and I could hear how it would need to change dynamically as well. Because in the movie, she's singing her own song at karaoke, which I think is like the most baller move I could think of. And then it switches to this like fantasy portion. So the music needed to hit harder. Yeah. And so I emailed John Mullane, who I know you know.
Yeah.
And I was like,
former guest.
Of course. Yeah. And I was like, hey, here's what I need to do. And I sent him a video from a movie called Teen Spirit. Kat, you and I saw that together. Starring Elle Fanning as like this in like American Idol style contest. She's actually Irish for some reason. And she sings a song called Don't Kill My Vibe by Sigrid. Okay. And it's like, she's this meek little whatever. And then she like explodes in this moment. And so I was like, this is the vibe sonically, and here's the visual. And he's like, yeah, I can do that. So, but it was this very tense moment on set where he was doing it during production. So I had to give it to her during production with like the shoot a week away. Right. And so I like gave it to her, and she was out on the lawn walking around listening to it, and someone was like, we need you, and I was like, I'm having a meeting with Hillary, but like she was 20 feet away from me. Just like what? And she came back, she's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, great, let's move forward.
And that's such an important scene in the film.
So important. Too. Yeah. And it's also like, and Tom Hanks talked about this with that thing you do. Like, it's a song you're going to have to hear a million times, so you better fucking like it. Yeah. And I still listen to it of my own accord. Yeah. Great song.
The acting is phenomenal. And I know Nicole Steeves just won a Screen Nova Scotia
yes, she
Award.
Did.
Congratulations to you and to the whole cast,
That's
really.
Right.
It was just so awesome. Impressive. How did you go about bringing together this collection of talent?
I made a film called Compulsus in 2021. When was that? 22. Kat was there. 2021. And it had all the people in it were all local folks who are all in the same friend group, because it's Halifax. It's just what happened. Like, it wasn't like we intentionally were like, well, they know each other, they can carpool. Like, it wasn't anything like that. But that movie
always a factor.
Was very serious, and we only had 15 days to shoot. It was the height of COVID. There were no rapid tests yet. Like, it was tense. And as I said, we were in these small North End locations. So like Cafe Lara was one, Coastal Cafe was one, and then we shot in this apartment on Moran Street. So just like tight and close, and people weren't getting to hang out after. There was no camaraderie because you weren't hanging out after. So in between takes, because they're all friends, they would be having a lot of fun. And then we'd like call action on the movie and it'd be like, rare, like not fun. And I was like, wouldn't it be nice to have fun on and off screen? So off and on, I guess I should have said. So when we finished shooting Compulsus, we went right into another lockdown. So we couldn't start editing, but I had all this energy that was aiming at editing, and it was just like shooting into the air. So I started writing this script. I was like, what is this? If there was an ensemble piece, what would it look like? And so that is where it started. And it was just like the idea being that we would cast a lot of the same folks again.
And I read that while we as the audience receive this film as a comedy, to some extent at least, that wasn't necessarily how you felt about it.
No, it kept getting darker and darker. And then when we got telefilm funding, they said, you need to make this funnier. And I did. And then they had the nerve to ask me who I hired to punch it up.
Joke?
I did it. And they're like,
I'm
how?
funny.
Well, you want me to explain writing to you? I'm just like, you told me to make it funnier. So I did.
And this is after you've got the funding?
After the funding, yeah. So, and telefilm's so funny because they're like, well, you don't have to take our notes. It's like, if that were true, you wouldn't give me any.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the note, was to make the script funnier. So it's like funny for half an hour and then it really drops off. Like it's not funny. Like
your words.
Yeah, it really does. Like it's not a comedy to me. It's like deeply sad to me.
Yeah. And why do you say that?
Well, it's like rooted in real life situations.
Okay.
So it's like, I always say this movie was way easier and way harder than the first one, because the first one was just about learning everything and being in these like close quarters together with like brand new people, all who had more film experience than I did. I felt like an idiot. I had like this tiny walk to set every day, like from my house 2 blocks away. You're like, okay, push the panic down and just sort of pretend that you could sort it out and figure out what was going on. So that I didn't have that going into the next one. You know, we had a fairly similar sized crew and a similar sized cast. So like, it's not like the numbers got bigger. The budget did, which was obviously very nice. But then like the personal stakes became bigger. Yeah. And there were a couple times on set. I remember there was one scene where I like surprisingly, like it really affected me, and I had to like go down to the lake to cry. And then like they sent a PA after me, and it was so mortifying. And then in the car on the way home, my second AD, Bruce, would pick me up and drive me home because we lived in the same neighborhood. And I was like, and Boy Genius had put out an EP called The Rest for Record Store Day, which was like 4 B-sides that they didn't put on their original record. So we were putting that on and we were like driving home, and I was looking out the window and I was crying quietly, and I'm like, Bruce probably thinks this is because of the record. And then that they stopped talking to me, which was super notable. You guys know Bruce. And then like a year later, I was like, so that day in the car, they were like, yeah.
Right.
I knew.
They knew.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing some of that background.
Well, I mean, something else that I've thought about a lot too is like, if you're not going to put the things that hurt the most into the art, like what's the fucking point? So that's where I'm.
It's a good lesson.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
And it also circles back to the beginning where I was hiding stuff, and it's like, well, there's no point.
Yeah.
Creatively, you do a lot of different things. When I first met you, it was through music. You were playing with your band Dance Movie. You've written a book. You've been a journalist for a number of years. How are you balancing all these things?
Desperately. There's no money. Like my whole life. If like, I know you guys often ask, what would you see success? Like, how would you feel like you've made it? And the answer would be financial stability. It's like the book, which I wrote in a fugue state, like I have no fucking memory of it. Yeah. And I get this statement, like I'll never make the money back, and it was not a lot of money. It's mortifying. It's like I get a statement every 6 months. It's like, here's who didn't buy your book. Here's how many copies still exist in the world.
We
like,
wrote a book too, so we know what you're saying.
Yeah, we get $7 every 6 months
right?
too. So,
I haven't even like made the advance back yet.
Yeah.
So the book, I don't know. It's just been by necessity. It's like once I ran out of journalism jobs, which happened in 2020, kind of quietly. I pivoted into like arts administration. So I worked at the Halifax Independent Filmmakers Festival for 4 years. I'm working at Women in Film and Television Atlantic right now. I've worked for Screen Nova Scotia. I worked for NASCAD. So I just like take all that arts knowledge and just apply it to administration is sort of what I do now. But it's really stressful. Like this WIF job, I got it in the nick of time. Like it was like on the brink. Things were bad. It's like I had a little bit of movie money and then I got a bad tooth that cost me $3,000. And I was like, well,
fucking tooth.
It's a tooth or the sea, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, how did filmmaking come into it all?
When I turned 40, I was sitting in my backyard and I was on EI for the first time in my life because I'd quit the coast in July.
Riding the Pogie train.
That's right. Yeah. I didn't even know about it. And then I'd fucked it up. So it was late and I had to call a guy on my birthday and like explain what freelancing was. They don't know. They still don't know. They really don't. A lot of people
just keep that secret. You don't tell them about that stuff.
We'll edit this part out.
And I'm sitting in my backyard and I'm like, is this it? Like, what now? AFCOOP had this little class they were running called Writing Small, and it was specifically to write a screenplay with the intent to apply to Telefilm's Talent to Watch program, which is their micro-budget program, which at the time was $150,000. It's now $250,000 a year after we did it. Thanks so much. So I just did that, and I was like, deadlines help me as a journalist, goals. It's just like, you've got this 3-month course, and I'm just going to do it. And I did it, and I wrote Compulsus in that course, and we were successful.
Yeah.
And it just sort of rolled from there. Like, I hadn't directed anything since 2007. Like, I was not a good business case for Telefilm with that project, but my producer, Nicole Steeves, was, because she'd been in the business for 10 years. She'd written and directed her own features, and she was very active. And so I am very thankful for that collaboration, which happened on Instagram DMs. She slid into my DMs. Well, I put it out. I was like, I couldn't find a producer. And I was like, does anyone want to go to Talent to Watch? Because like producing a film sucks ass. And it's like, with you until you die, the movie. So it's like you need to really be into it. And Nicole was in this weird place where she had made 2 features for like, one was $1,000, so 0, and then one was $25,000. So she didn't qualify for any telefilm programs. So she's like, this is my foot in the door for me to get into telefilm. And so that's what she did. And then we liked working together so much that we made a second.
I want to ask, this is almost like, can you give me some advice, Tara? Because
you shouldn't take advice from me.
I just want to hear, because it's sort of thematic with this idea of, well, I've tried this and I've tried that, and I feel like that's very relatable. I spent a lifetime with every 2 weeks getting the same paycheck in my bank account, which was just so beautiful compared to how financially it feels now.
Yeah.
And if I'm being honest, that's the only thing about my life and lifestyle in the arts that gives me sort of that pause, or like I question myself, or is this worth it? Is this sacrifice? And I think that's also what's led me to try, like Mike and I have also written a book, and we're hosting this podcast, and I'm opening this gallery. And part of it is to see what sticks. Although I enjoy all of this work, it is truthfully in the pursuit of finding that sense of stability, which I have not yet accomplished either. And I don't know, is that part of what I don't want to say jumping around, because I see it's been intentional, but is that part of the rationale for hoping like maybe I'll stumble upon this thing that will give me that sense of making it?
I mean, maybe, but I also just think the project fits the medium it's designed for. Like, I wanted to write a Law and Order musical. I'm not going to film that. So we did a fringe show. You know what I mean? Like, that was the right place for that. It's like, maybe I have a film that's like really a short film idea, and it's like I only have $1,000. It's like, we could do that. It's sort of, and I don't think it's like a goal necessarily. There's this advice columnist I really love, Ask Polly, Heather Heverleski, and she just sends out this newsletter, and she was just talking about dreams, and she's like, the dream isn't I want to be a rock star. That's like the goal. That's the finish line. The dream is I want to start a band, so I'm going to buy a guitar and I'm going to take singing lessons. Like, it's all the work that you do to get to the thing. Yeah. And I think, we live in a world where our phones show us way more successful people than us constantly, but a lot of them are also lying. Yeah. They're lying. Mm-hmm. And so, and certainly in film, I've really struggled with the idea of like keeping up, because I have friends who are filmmakers too. And it's like, well, she got this and she went to this festival and she won this award and I don't have any of that. Do I suck? You know what I mean? Even though it's like a completely different film, her goals are completely different from mine. So it's like, I think it's just about keeping it all in perspective. And I don't think there is a goal. I think the goal is to live and not hate it, which is very difficult.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a good way. Are you okay, Stuart?
Holding it
Does this feel like too relatable right now? But we spoke about this a little bit earlier, actually, how none of us are necessarily integrated into the theater world like our audiences here, but we imagine that just being a full-time artist, that we all share some of those feelings in common, be it imposter syndrome or be it the ebbs and flows and things. Is it good? Is this the right medium for it? And is that something that you've thought about as well? Like how we all kind of have this common thread among us, just being an artist.
Have I thought about the thread? I don't know, because I feel like I know a lot of artists, but my closest friends are not. Okay. They have real normie jobs and houses, and they do really well. And I'm like the poorest one by a significant amount. Kat and I are often the poorest people in our respective groups. We talk about it all the time. And it's like, well, what? So like then what do you do? Like, what's the alternative? A fucking 9-to-5 office job that you hate and you're not doing it. And it's like, you can do your art at night. Okay. I'm tired. It's tiring. And the older you get, you're just like, I don't have the energy to do all the things. So it's like, I don't know. I just feel like anyone trying to make a career out of art is like foolhardy, but also really brave. And you do it or you don't, and I don't know. I don't think I answered your question.
No, that's good. It's not something necessarily we all sit around thinking I wonder how similar to a musician I am.
Well, to that point, at the coast, we used to talk about all the time. I was like, we'd be like, oh, are we doing and not like, we have to come to work today. What the fuck? Like, I just wanted to sit in a cafe and type on my laptop. How dare I have parameters? And I was like, there are normie people who, they live in Cole Harbour, they have a house and 2 kids and a truck and a cottage, and they go see Keith Urban when he comes to town, and they don't fucking think about, could it be better? Ever. And they're happy. I wish I was stupider all the time. All the time. I do. Like, I bet being a convoy person is incredible.
If you like, we can take that clip and it can become your CV. Like, that's your application right there.
Honestly.
For your dream 9-to-5, should you ever cross that threshold.
Like, have I had a hard life? No. All things considered, no. But do I feel like life is hard? Yes.
Yeah.
So it's just like, could it be easy? I don't know. At what cost?
Yeah. No, it's a good. I need to hear this. So thank you for putting it plainly.
I think my number one advice is like, I just read this and I can't remember who it was. It's like, put your head down and don't compete against anyone but yourself. I think that's good advice.
Yeah.
It's not from me at all.
When you're creating, when you're writing a movie script, when you're writing a song, anything, are you thinking of your audience, or are you just putting out what feels right in that moment?
You're not supposed to think about the audience. No, I'm not. I'm like, I like this. Sometimes I'll be like, in terms of music, I don't write a lot of music anymore, and I always say every song is a miracle, and it's not of artistry, it's of that it exists at all, because I find it very difficult. But occasionally in a song, I'll be like, I think I stole this from somewhere, like something I'm listening to currently, I think I stole it. So that's the most that I kind of think about. In terms of movies are fake until they're real. So unless you're like Steven Spielberg, you don't have to sit here and be like, what's my audience going to say? It's like, what audience, first of all, and when? Like 2 years from now, 10 years from now. So it's like, I think letting, in terms of film specifically, like letting any outside forces, like it's fine to get notes, but like don't cut your movie because you think the way you think an audience would like, or a festival would like, or a distributor would like. It's got to be the movie that you made.
Hey, Kristen, do you know what's awesome?
Theme parks, cotton candy.
Well, yeah, but I was going to say saving money.
Saving money is awesome.
Well, the sponsor of this week's podcast episode, Ryan O'Malley with Allstate Insurance, can help you save money with home and auto insurance.
That sounds fantastic, but I don't like dealing with call centers and talking to like 30 different people.
That's the amazing thing with Ryan. You don't have to deal with a call center. You get to speak with someone local living in Cole Harbour who knows our area, our weather, our vehicles, and our housing needs.
Ooh, I love the sound of this. And with the money we will save through bundling our insurance with Ryan, you can take me to a theme park and buy me cotton candy.
We can buy anything you want with all the money we'll save.
I'm sold. Sign me up. How can I get in touch with Allstate Insurance?
Well, you can call Ryan O'Malley at 902-210-1293 or email romalley@allstate.ca. And he's been a fantastic supporter of local arts and our podcast, so we really give the thumbs up to Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan, for helping Nova Scotians save money while protecting the things that matter to us. Yeah.
I'm also curious about the distribution of different mediums, because music, and you obviously know this, when you write a song, you put it on streaming services and the whole world has access to it. With filmmaking, you make a movie, it may be in a festival and potentially get picked up by a streaming service, but it's not always there for everybody to consume. I don't know which way is necessarily better. Like, is every single person being able to put their music out to everybody a good thing? In certain ways, of course it is, because you can have a fan in Iceland and Germany, wherever. But at the same time, you're competing against, I think it's 120,000 songs are released every day now. In the 70s, it was like 15,000 songs a year. So I'm curious, what do you think about the distribution and how different mediums can reach different people, because you have experience in different ways?
I've been reading a lot about how we need to bring snobbery back, because the whole world is just this big fucking blob of content, and it's like nothing. It's really hard for anything to stick and anything to rise up. And so to that point, I do think everyone being able to release a song is bad. That said, the systems in place that allowed the people to release songs were super racist and super misogynist and also have their own problems. So it's like, that's democracy, everybody. It's like, that's what you get. And then it's like up to the listener to decide. In terms of film, is like complicated because you control everything about the movie except where it goes. Yeah. So it's like, I spent all of 2024 or the middle of 2024 getting rejected from every film festival in this country, except for AIFE, which I wasn't worried about because it's hometown. Like, I knew that would be fine. And I was like, okay, so I made this movie. It's the best I can do. Like, this is the best I can do to this point in my life, and no one wants it. And then so you get very sad. And then you go to AIFE, and it's like, this was the best night of my life. Standing ovation. Amazing. But then people are like, and what next? And you're like, I don't know. Yeah. It might be dead in the water. But then we started like late in the year, got an email from Australia, got an email from Amsterdam, got an email from London. And I was like, you know what? This is better than Calgary. Anyway, no offense if there's anyone here from Calgary. Seems to be you.
Hey, Eric. Hey.
East-West Coast fight can happen in the parking lot after. Do you run SIF? Because I'll feel really bad if you do. No.
I have a good friend who runs SIF.
Okay. Well, they already don't care, so it's fine. To even sort of go back to your question about, like, are things supposed to work out the way they're supposed to work out? It's like, yes, because the Australian premiere was. This is so boring, but I need to explain it briefly. It's like in festival land, they have premiere status. So it's like world, international, and then it goes down to like Canadian, Nova Scotia. Like, it gets really small, but like world, international are the big ones. So we had world premiere at home, which people do not advise you to do. But it was, again, one of the greatest nights of my life, and I believe yours. I'm just projecting. Yes, and Catherine. And so yeah, we were premiere at home, but then this Australia was our international premiere, so that opened up telefilm funding and local funding. Yeah. It was a $10,000 trip. I did not have $10,000. I did not have $5,000. Like, I had this tooth, that was it. And I was like, I can't slap together a trip to Australia suddenly, but because everything else had happened and we didn't play some podunk festival in the US or which happened with the first movie, it's like we kind of got pushed into this international run that was a lot better and I think more rewarding than a Canadian run would have been. And now we've also played Canadian queer festivals. And without the queer circuit, we would have played eighth. And that's it. So distribution in terms of film, it's like, and I saw this, we had a brief theatrical run with Compulsus where we ran around the Maritimes, and it's like, you get to see people on the ground, you get to talk to people to their faces, and, they say, I've never seen a lesbian movie on screen, or like whatever, and they thank you, and that's an amazing thing, that like throwing your song into the Spotify ether, you don't know. You don't, you just can't, it's just like so much harder to connect that way. Like in a way, like your goal is to connect with everyone, but it's so much harder to connect on a personal level when it's like available to everyone. So not that I'm like anti-distribution for film, like it's like one of the goals, but it's really hard.
I want to go back to where this all started, because we've spent some time talking about your more recent projects, but when this all came into your life, you're young and like, I want to get into the arts. Was there an idea in your head then of being that quote unquote rock star? Like, is that the vision that you started out with, or were you open to just kind of taking one thing at a time?
I think I knew I could write. That was all I knew I could do. And like, I didn't write songs. Dustin talked about that play that I wrote, which he gave me the script of the last time I had a meeting at his house. It's from 1998. It's horrifying. Dot matrix printers. They'll withstand the apocalypse, apparently. I dabbled, but and I think a lot of people in this room and you two can probably relate to this. Like, I felt like I needed permission to be an artist. Like, I felt like I couldn't say it. I didn't call myself that. And so it usually took other people asking me to do something or giving me that permission before I would felt comfortable enough to do anything creative.
Has your idea of success changed over time?
No, it's always been money.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I like it.
Not fame, money.
Yeah. This feels like a hard truth for artists to actually say out loud as well. So maybe there's this point in their life where it's hard to call themselves an artist. I find artists also have a hard time admitting that part of the pursuit is money or stability.
Well, and
because your point earlier, that isn't supposed to be the important part.
Yeah, and ambition used to be a bad word. Like, certainly around here, and I mean, Mike, you know this from music, you lived through Halifax locals. It was like, how dare Winter Sleep get popular or whatever? And it's like, what do you want them to do? Fucking play Gus's Pub until they're dead? So, I think ambition used to, and now everyone's ambitious, so it's super off-putting in a different way. So it's like, how do you, but ambition is not bad, but it's like how you go about it and how you express it, I think, is sort of the challenge.
And how do you feel about content creation and sort of this, what I'll call new age way of promotion and marketing ourselves?
I think I obviously hate it. We talked about recording and stuff for this, and at the film festivals, there's always these photographers, and they're like, go do something. And we just went to Toronto last week, and they're like, we're gonna get individual shots of everyone, and then all the actors did it, and then they're like, okay. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I will not post it. If anyone sends me anything from today, I will not acknowledge that it happened. It's like, I don't want it. Don't send me pictures of myself. I'm not saying that you were going to, but I hate that part the most. It's like, my girlfriend says it's weird that you make art because you don't want people to perceive you. And then everything's so personal.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Is it like you don't want you to be seen? Are you okay with your creativity being seen?
Yeah, or otherwise I wouldn't put it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's you.
It's me. Yeah. It's like, don't look. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're looking right now.
I know.
It's fine.
This week I've hosted a bunch of things after a long time of not hosting, so it's been like an ease into getting back into.
You have had a busy weekend.
It's busy. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you come up with your next idea?
It always. Sorry, Mike took that from you guys out there. The next idea always comes from the current thing. So Lakeview came from Compulsus, and my new script, which is a romantic comedy, also came from Compulsus because there's a romantic B plot in that movie, and there were times when we were cutting the fights and they weren't quite working, and I was like, fuck, I wish this was just a gay romance. So I wrote that.
Yeah.
So that's. So that's what I'm doing next. Yeah.
Is there a project you've ever participated in or been asked to do that you've rejected or said no to?
That's a great question, Kristen. I don't know if I would name it, but I think there's a lot of like say yes to everything. That's what you're told early on. But I actually think the older you get, the more discerning you are is important. More important. Yeah. It's like, it's different when you're young and you want people to see you and you want people to hear your name. But like once that's locked in, just be specific. Cause like even to use movies as an example, like when we put out an audition call, like I don't want someone that's in everything. And I feel bad because like that's what they're like, I'm an actor, I'm supposed to be in everything. It's like, no, actually I see that you're not choosy. So, you know, like I just don't want someone who's been in 40 other things that are going to be at the film festival. It's just like, so.
That's perfect then.
Kat will be in until the end.
I will say, though, I've observed of you that you often are the first to say yes when someone asks for help or support or a volunteer. Today is a good example of that. And I know there's probably a number of you in the room who have benefited from just your generosity and support for the arts. Yet you are sort of the quiet one behind the scenes. And I just admire that in you. It's not even a question, just an observation.
It's nice of you to say that I'm the quiet one.
Yeah.
I don't get that very often.
We just wanted to do something different today. Our quiet friend Tara, so meek and mild in the background.
I love culture. It's like, people would be like, well, you have to go out. It's your job. It's like, it's nice that it's entwined in my job. But I think the reason I did it for so long for no fucking money, 19 years at the Coast, it's like, because I loved it. It's like my favorite thing was to put people on the cover of the Coast. And now you don't have that anymore. Like we're just lamenting the loss of like traditional journalism. It's like no one gets to be on the cover of the Coast. No one gets to be fucking mad that they weren't on the cover of the Coast. You know who you are. It's like, I knew it was a huge thing to do for people. And it was always, my proudest weeks were always when local people were on the cover. And I also just love talking to people about how they make art and why they make art. And it's just like a thing that has died. And like the like people, young people now don't even know about press because like where is it? It doesn't exist. And I've seen it, you know, we were just in Toronto with the movie and there's like I did no interviews. I did like I think 5 for Compulsus in 2022, none. Like, and there was no one. There's just nothing. And it's a huge loss that I think is hard to quantify and I think hard to recognize if you didn't start with it, but now it's bad.
How do we change that?
You can't. It's like there's no, unless somebody is gonna pull, you know, they're gonna like, I love the art so much and I'm a great writer and a good editor. I'm gonna start a blog and I'm gonna do it for free. You know, I think Amanda Campbell does a good job of like trying to get out to everything and like give the theater folks, you know, some attention. But like honestly, no one's gonna do it because there's no one to pay them. And you know,
is there a different medium that maybe can capture this?
Mike and Kristen podcast.
Yeah, this is it.
I mean, and obviously podcasts are where people get a lot of information, and unfortunately TikTok is where people get a lot of information. But like, I want to read something. I want to hold it in my hand, not my phone. I want to hold a thing in my hand and read it. And it's just not possible.
I first sort of discovered, dishonesty may be a strong word, but having worked in politics for 10 years and being in a scrum and being, you know, in media prep rooms, it broke my heart so many times to read an article and be like, but that's not what happened.
Right.
Like every day this was happening. Like, no, I was in that room. That's, you know, you took the first part of the sentence and then the last little bit and made it your own thought. And feeling kind of like really lost just as a person, as a citizen that was living here and realizing, wait a minute, there's actually not a truthful, honest place that I can go. And I understand people are also writing from their own lived experiences and perspectives and opinions, yes, but it was blatant that the facts were also untrue in so much of this journalism I was reading. Is there anything that comes to mind that you might recommend for what feels like honest reporting, be it in the arts or otherwise?
It hurts to say, but CBC is a reliable source of news and information.
And there's the promo for this week's episode. That's great. No, we have to go somewhere with that. So
Did you grow up with an artistic family, creative people?
No. And whenever people are like, yeah, my dad used to play soul records and we went to plays on the weekend, I'd be like, what? No, I didn't.
Kristen knew how to gut a deer when she was 6.
There you go. Yeah,
Rural
my dad
Nova
hunted as
Scotia.
well. I grew up
Lot
with a
of
gun.
hunting.
I grew up with a gun case outside of my bedroom, and I knew where the key was. Thank you. Yeah.
When we played hide and seek, I would always hide upstairs because there was my dad's gun case and all the taxidermy animals
The
he had
stuffed
killed.
owl.
The stuffed owl. And my girlfriends were like, they're terrified. I'm like, this is the best hiding place ever. So there's perks to that too.
No, I have 2 sisters, and my youngest sister and I are both very culturally inclined, and we often are like, how did this happen? And I think I think it was a curiosity. I started reading like teen magazines when I was 13, and then the internet came around when I was like 16. So there was just a lot of information, and I just loved it.
Do you feel like you've had to leave Nova Scotia to find culture that was enriching to you?
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. Well, I mean, like I travel for concerts a lot because it's like no one is coming here. No one is coming here more than ever. Like it's really bad.
We are getting a lot of boy bands.
Tons of men. I don't know what the fuck is going on out there. It's really bad.
Don't you? No.
So it's I mean, I know. So yeah, I travel a lot. But even like that is crazy. You're like a trip to Toronto used to be $400, and now it's $1,000 to go for the weekend. We just did it, and it's like, ugh. So I'm a lot more choosy, especially when my money is questionable. But yes, definitely.
And your recent trip to Australia, you actually almost got to go to South America too, right?
Oh yes, when our trip to Australia, it was when the plane crashed at Pearson, so we got diverted a bunch, and then they're like, "We're going to send you to Santiago, Chile. It's going to take 54 hours." And I said, "I'm not doing that." And my producer said, "We have to, or we forfeit our return flight." Anyway, it's fine. It worked out. We did not go there.
It's fine.
Yeah, we went to San Francisco, which was amazing.
That's good.
Yeah.
What inspires you? What gets you going? Every day you're waking up. Are you listening to music? Reading books, authors?
I'm not reading books. It's so bad. Even though I just was yelling about how much people need to read, I don't.
Audiobooks?
No, I don't listen to podcasts. I don't listen to anything. I
What do you do,
have
Tara?
an iPod Nano. I have an iPod Nano. It's not with me, unfortunately, or I would be bringing it out.
Discman.
And I walk around town and I listen to records that's how I learn records. Like I'm not a singles person. And I just, it's usually music.
Yeah.
And then movies. The movies have been a bad run lately, but like I love to go to the movies on the weekend and just like see what's out there, and anything that got into TIFF, I go see because we didn't get into TIFF, and I'll be like, well, this better be fucking good.
What's with the fact that you can't really go see a good movie in theaters anymore?
I think it's because the distribution model, to circle back to your other distribution question, is broken. And Halifax is like a C tier level to distributors. So we just get the biggest blockbustery things. And Park Lane, for whatever reason, will not run as a rep cinema, even though they have the space and they do it occasionally, but they won't dedicate a screen to like indie films. So that's what Carbon Arc has been trying to do, the Museum of Natural History, but those seats are fucking terrible. Apparently they go back, do you guys know this? They go back 3 notches. So they've like negotiated with the museum that they're going to put them back 1 notch because they're like ramrod straight. And it's like, well, you're not supposed to watch a 3-hour Japanese movie in here. You're supposed to like look at Gus for 20 minutes and you're a child. Like they're not, it's not a theater.
That was also a 4-hour meeting. I'm certain of it. But we were at a theater actually in Austin recently where you could like full blown
Was
lay
it
down,
a
and
Alamo
order
Draft House?
pizza and
We
stuff,
got
and
Alamo Draft House.
pizza.
like the Violet or Violet Room.
When I go to the States, they have such great independent movie houses there. And like I have friends that I travel with. They're like, seeing a movie on vacation is a waste of time. Like, you're a fucking idiot. Look at this room. Look at this projection. Like sometimes it's shitty and that's better. I always seek out films when I'm away. In London, I was like overwhelmed. There are so many movie theaters there. It was crazy.
Is it a different experience for you to see your film in a venue that is beautiful?
Yes, thanks for asking. So we played the TIFF Lightbox last weekend, and it's the best the movie's ever sound. I mean, we played Park Lane 3, I think, for AIFF. You've all been there, you know. I think that's the one without the patch on the screen, but
The fancy one.
But the Lightbox is like the best theater in the country, I would say. So it's like, I was hearing things. I leaned over to Nicole at one point. I was like, there's too many fucking birds in this movie. I don't remember there being this many birds. And in London, we played the BFI South Bank #1, which, first of all, we sold out without a trailer. 450 people. That's more people than in Halifax. And it's this dome. It's where they streamed the Oscars from in the COVID year. Like, it's this beautiful, beautiful space. And I walked on stage and I was like, could we not do something about this room? And they loved it. And it like won them over right away, which was good because they did not appreciate the Kaler scene that was in the middle. They didn't laugh at that.
Okay.
Sorry, Kat. That's Kat's scene.
Since you're here, we'll just point that out. Just point that one out.
The Brits were like, I don't get it.
Well, we're at that point where we're going to turn things over to our audience. So I'm sure you have some questions brewing. And
if you don't, it's fine. Oh, boy.
Hi, Stuart. Hi, Tara. Hi, everybody. One of the many things that I respect about you is your outspokenness. Not just in rooms like this, but in public, like online. When you have an opinion about something political or cultural, you share it. And you don't mince words, which I imagine, I don't want to assume, but I imagine can get lonely in the aftermath. Can you speak about that? Because I feel similar sometimes, but I often think, what would Tara do?
Oh, thank you, Stuart. That's so nice. No, because, and I'm sure this happens to you too, you get DMs of people who are too afraid to say anything publicly, and they're like, I can't say anything, but I agree. So it's actually nice. I do feel like I am the only one screaming sometimes. Like, we were at the Screen Nova Scotia Awards last week, and Standing on the Shoulders of Kitties, which is a Trailer Park Boys movie, was nominated for Best Picture. Lakeview was not. And when they announced, there's this space where they're like, standing on the shoulders of kitties, space, clapping. In the space, I knew it was coming, and I just booed as loud as I could. And Kat flattened in her chair, like she was trying to get out of the way of the boo. And people came up to me later, and they're like, what? And I was like, I'm not sitting silently while we golf clap for a sex pest. Like, I'm not doing it. And I think in the older Coast days and CBC days, I had to be a bit more diplomatic. But now that I'm beholden to no one, it's like I've been going hard at the ECMAs because there's no professional consequence for me. It's like they can't call CBC and complain. They can't pull their ad from the Coast. It's like, you guys fucking suck, and here's how. And I have a background. I have the 25 years of knowledge of the situation that they can't refute it either. So yeah, no, I thank you. I feel lonely in a lot of ways, but definitely not that. And it's actually super validating when like industry people are like, thank you. And I'm like, I know, you can't.
Is there a certain, sorry, I don't mean to interject here because I am handing it over to you, but is there a certain freedom in that, knowing that like, hey, you can't really touch me here, fire me or whatever?
I mean, you're never going to know why you don't get something. It's like, I can't get a grant. I can't get an Arts Nova Scotia grant. And it's like, is it your big fucking mouth? Maybe. Or is it because the thing isn't good? Who's to say?
Who's to say?
I'll never know.
I think there's a grant writing expert in the audience that maybe wants to take that one.
Hi, Tara.
Hi, Richie.
You have done some things in the theater scene. You see a lot of theater. You are a major supporter of the Nova Scotia theater scene. And so I'm wondering, what is one of the things in the theater scene that you would like to see change?
Oh, my God. Are you trying to cancel me again?
No. Well, here's the thing. We were here as part of the industry series with Stages, and we have been asking some sort of maybe challenging questions or dreaming or what-ifing for the past 2.5 days. So not necessarily to cancel you, but there are things that I wanted to change, so I'm just curious.
I think you won't agree. I think you all need to go back to traditional staging. I really do. This is the medium the most where people are like, what is theater? Like, you ask it all the time. And then, like, no one on set's like, what's cinema? What's a song? wrong. Like, no one's ever asking. But you guys are always asking. And I would like to go to a place with nice seats. I don't want any actor to talk to me. And I don't want to be in the show. And it's funny, Dustin's laughing because I'm on the board of Secret Theater and I'm like, I don't support what you do. But I support your right to do it. So yeah, this idea that like, we're bored of being in the Proscenium Arch. Well, that's the fucking life you chose. Get back under it.
You asked. Anyone else?
How dare you? End of thought.
Thank you, Jacob.
No, I actually do have a question.
Oh, we had worked out a bit before, and that was it.
No, just earlier when you were talking about the motives of success and like the varying levels of success, do you have a benchmark for that success, or is it just a sense of stability, or is there a specific ask, or like, and broaden that out to other artists, and like, do you recommend that other artists have those, like have a legit mark of whatever that marker of success may be, whether it is fame or a certain audience-ship or a certain, yeah.
I think it's good to have goals because you need shit to work toward, but I think in terms of art, like having benchmarks is like I've been saying, it's you have to adjust constantly. It's like, I was like, Lakeview, we're going to get into TIFF. We didn't get into TIFF. So now what? Like, how does, what is the adjustment now? Like, what will make me feel okay? And there is this, and I just interviewed some folks from New Brunswick who made a movie last night, and they were talking too, like, when will it be enough? Like, why am I never satisfied? And I actually think that's the life of an artist. So no.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you for asking.
Thanks, Dustin. So I just had a question about what you said around your family and like, you know, you and your sister kind of going, how on earth did we end up here? How did we get here? And one of the pressures I think lots of people in the UK feel who might have come from that background in some way where it wasn't something that was in the house is to then support younger people through their career. And it seems like you're a hugely supportive figure in this community. So I'd just be curious to hear whether that's something that you feel is a responsibility or it's something that you're interested in doing. And yeah.
It's definitely something I'm interested in doing just because I like, listen, I can shit talk with the best of them, but I love when people do good work. And it goes back to my career as a journalist where it's like, I know sometimes you're elevating things that wouldn't have been seen otherwise. And that is important. And it's always, you know, it's important for me to, you know, to uplift women and queer people. And I do think that so much of any business is not nepotism, but networking, where it's like, it is who you know in a lot of cases. So it's like, you should try to know as many people as you can. So yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of talk this morning about networks, so that's really nice.
Are you going to use
defending Calgary?
Have you ever gone to the Stampede? No. I've recently, like just during the pandemic, kind of had a number of opportunities to translate my kind of theater skills into film and television. And I'm just kind of curious about your experience kind of straddling these different kind of modes of communication and artistic expression. And yeah, I'm just kind of curious, partly because what I've come across in the theater world sometimes is, in fact, people need permission or they need to be told that, hey, all of those really good story skills and content creation skills that you have can actually translate into podcasts, books, you know, TV, film. Like there's so many more places where your work can actually reach people, not just within the live kind of format, but in other ways. And so, maybe you can speak a little bit about that experience. I
mean, it kind of connects to this question of you know, of supporting younger people and lifting them up. It's like, I remember being on Compulsus, and our sound person, Olivia King, had just made a short, and I said, do you have something else? We were standing in the hall, and I was like, do you have something else in the works? And they were like, no, I think I'm going to focus on this sound thing. And I'm getting a lot of work done and blah, blah. I have an idea, but I don't know. And I said, listen, can you please take one lesson from me, which is that I didn't start this until I was 40, and I wanted to do it since I was your age. And I just regret all the wasted time. Like, go out and do it. And they made a short film last year that ended up winning an award. And they did DM me and be like, "This is because you said go do it." Yeah. So I do think it's just like people get stuck in their own brainwaves or like what they think is supposed to happen. And I do think it's just a matter of just like talking to people and being willing to be like, well, yeah, have you actually thought about it this way or this way? It does all come down to networking and also generosity, I think. Because like there used to be a lot of gatekeeping that I feel like is going away now. I'm always impressed when someone's not a gatekeeper because they're in film especially like, well, I had to figure it out, so you can. It's like, or you could tell me, and I can move on. so yeah.
Well, thanks so much, Tara. This has been absolutely amazing.
Highly entertaining. Yeah, well done.
Thanks, guys.
It's an honor to have you here in our space and get to hear about all that you've done and all you're working on. And you are inspiring a lot of other people out there every day in all that you do. So keep doing that and keep fighting the good fight.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about the song you're going to perform?
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to sing. I'm also going to sing. It's called Thrapped, and it's the song that I wrote for the end credits of the movie. And it is a song about friendship. And there's this Keeper E song that opens the movie, and it's called Frail. And there's a line that says, "When I grow old and frail, I hope to be where you are." So there's a callback line in my song, which is where it started. I want to be where you are. But you can tell that it's about like all the parts of friendship, like the good and the bad. And yeah, Jen Grant sings it on the recording, but you get me, sorry. But yeah, so I'm gonna do that.
Well, we're in for a treat, and also want to give a huge shout out to our audience here today and all the organizers. You've been fantastic. This was a blast. So thanks to all of you as well.
Make it.
Yes, so this is a soaring end credit song in the end credits. You can also get it on Bandcamp if you would like. But this is how I wrote it. This is how it sounded at first. It's called Thrapped. Faded, that's how you said it. Oh, so romantic, how we felt. Wondered until your wonders. Most nights I died there in your spell. I stay gold shining in your honor. We hold on harder when we're stronger. If I can't see, please sing to my heart. So lucky to live under your lightning. I love you even when you hate me. And I want to be where you are. Memories boundless and sundry on us like honey. You know me well. Calling a ship to a beacon, a star to a season, through time's great swell. I stay gold shining in your honor. We hold on harder when we're stronger. If I can't see, please sing to my heart. So lucky to live under your lightning. I love you even when you hate me. And I want to be where you are. And if I go first, tell them everything. And if it's you, I'll do the same. Faded, that's how you said it. Oh, so romantic. meant it, how we felt.
Make It with Mike and Kristen is recorded and produced by Michael S. Ryan at Hot Jupiter Sounds.
Intro and outro music by me as well.
Cover art by Emily Rankin at Take Note Graphic Design and photography by Candace Moore.
If you cool cats want to help us out, the best way to spread the word is by telling a friend about us. Tell your mom, tell all your buds. Word of mouth is still the best way to reach people. It's free for you and helps us immensely. And if you're into it, you can like and subscribe and all that stuff too.
Another way to support us is through our Patreon. We have a number of super fun tiers and perks like bonus content, handwritten postcards, creative coaching, and so much more. Find us at patreon.com/Mike and Kristen.
For the makers, the dreamers, and the figuring it outers, have fun trying to make it out there, friends.